bring up another thing. We know that in this courtroom, right next door in the Court of Appeals, that Harvey Weinstein had his case reversed for similar in this case, Your Honor. And so I think this court should take into account that ruling changes my view at all if they said that. He says the law of Sandoval remains the same. And remember, the Sandoval issue is in New York, it's a list of essentially prior bad acts that they can use to impeach the defendant. So if Trump takes the stand, they can say, oh, Mr. Trump, isn't it true that you were held in contempt in Areola Angeron, the Aurora Areola Angeralis? Areola? Borealis? What was the name? So we have, did you know you were held in contempt there? Did you know that Judge Chutkan issued a gag order? Did you know that
Stephanie,
in this case and sanctioned
welcome.
So they can go through the list. And they've held, they want to add the judges in this case, he held Trump in contempt for the $9,000 we talked about earlier. They want to add that to the list. And so we're saying this is a huge problem. The Court of Appeals in Weinstein, when they did that to him, they found that was a problem. He gets a new trial.
Well, I got done a lot earlier than I thought I would.
You should reconsider. What? It's not changing anything. Todd Blanche, the defense says, Your Honor, I have another thing, by the way. And then there's this true social issue about if you come after me, I'm coming after you, okay? Now, there's been a briefing in D.C., the gag order there, but there's no proof of anything. Trump said, if you come after me, I'm coming after you. They're like, oh gosh, that's a terroristic threat. So there's been a briefing in D.C., gag order there, but there's no proof that caused any damage or whatever. And so maybe they can prove up on their other tweets, but they should be allowed to mention that, right? They're going to come in there, in other words, it sounds like Brad is going to try to get testimony like that admitted. So if you come after me, I'm coming after you. Trump said that on his truth. He says, there's no proof that it caused any damages. The judge says, are you finished, Mr. Blanche? Okay, the jury is waiting outside. Hurry up. Government says, Your Honor, can we be heard before we bring him in? Of course. The court ruled that we can already introduce a transcript of the Access Hollywood tape. So you already said we can do it, so we can do it. Now, can we do it with the photo blacked out? Because it's from the Wayback Machine. They went and got the article from the Wayback Machine. He says, well, the people have a right to establish the date when it was published. And so that sounds fine. So let's get the witness. So bring in Mr. Dowse, and then bring in the jury. So Dow comes in, he's back on the bench. Reminder, you're still in the row, so tell the truth. He says, okay, come on, bring the jury in. Rise. Hi, jury, good to see you. Welcome back. Room day 11. They take a seat. And Trump's attorney, Emile Beauvais, is back up for cross-examination. He says, okay, Mr. Dowse, I want to pick back up with you talking about these two cell phones. Now, you got the consent of Michael Cohen when you extracted the audio from these cell phones, all these files. He says, yeah. And you signed this back on January 19th, 2023, is that right? He says, yeah. But then you got the data on January 23rd, is that right? So a few days later? He says, yeah. Now, your unit, because he works for the government, he works for the DA's office. Now, your unit didn't get the two phones under January 23rd. Is that right? So he came here, and he says, now let's talk about the chain of custody. There's a witness, not two. And that's not ideal if there's a dispute. Is that right? He says, yeah, theoretically, that's a little bit of a problem. So we're talking about this very important concept in criminal law, very important. And typically, you'll hear about it in cases like DUIs, very important concept, where you'll have multiple people handle a piece of evidence. So in a DUI case, for example, you might have one officer who does the traffic stop. It used to be the case where you have officers actually draw on one side of the road. Don't do that so much anymore in Arizona, maybe in other states. But for this example, you have an officer stop somebody on the side.
Drive to China King, Waterville, Ohio.
They were allowed to withdraw some blood. So they withdraw it, maybe they hand it to someone else. That person transports the blood. So you have one person who draws it, one person who transports it. That person impounds it into evidence. and somebody from the crime lab pulls it out of evidence, and they are the person who unseals it, uncaps the files and does the analysis on it. And then 3 people involved in that chain: the person who drew the blood, the person who transported the blood, and the person who tested the blood. Okay. Well, any one of those people could do something kind of problematic to that in that chain of custody, right? The guy drawing the blood could do something bad on you to sort of drain you off. So there's alcohol on your body as he's puncturing you. Maybe he does that. You say, no, there's nothing here. So it contaminates.
I was really trying to get my grass cut yesterday, except for the damn lawnmower caught on fire.
So we're talking about that same custody, and it goes from A to B, B to C, C to D, and it's verified every step of the way. Which is getting that now. It says now at every step, right? A should sign off that I gave it to B, and B should sign off that A gave it to me, right? So like we can confirm both people's, yes, I gave it to you, you gave it to me, okay, 2 of us. Now, if there's not 2 signatures on here, that's kind of weird, right? So like somebody else maybe could have just tampered with it and then handed it off to someone else. It's not ideal if there's a dispute about this, right? He says, yeah, theoretically that's a problem. Theoretically. You'd want to have 2 witnesses, wouldn't you? He says, probably, yeah, probably. Now, Mr. Dowse worked for the government, from law enforcement here. So you don't know if the phone was hooked up to the internet, do you? I do not know. Now you found a Signal app on the phone, Michael Cohen's phone, right? I did. And on Signal, isn't it true that self-delete is an option? You're familiar with Signal? Yeah. Isn't it true that self-delete, you can do that on messages there? Yeah. And it's pretty difficult to get them once they're deleted, isn't it? It says, yeah, it is. Now, when you went through Michael Cohen's phone, isn't it true that Michael Cohen had his Signal messages set to self-destruct in 7 seconds? Is that right? He did. And just to be clear, 7 seconds, right? Not minutes, seconds. He did. Huh. So you read it, it's gone. Like, as soon as you see it, it's gone. Now, what about the Dust app? You familiar with that? Yeah. And the Dust app, was that installed in his phone? He says, the Dust app, does that allow you to self-delete as soon as it's read? He says, yeah. And so if you, as soon as you read it, it auto-deletes, it would make it impossible for someone like you to reconstruct it, wouldn't it? He says, yes. So as soon as you open it, it's gone. And Michael Cohen had that app too, didn't he? Yeah. Now, when you're doing this analysis on a cell phone, is it possible that you can have a factor reset or that can wipe all data off the phone? Or a factory reset? Is it true that if you do a factory reset on your phone, that can wipe all the data off the phone, right? He says, yeah, you can. And there was a factory reset of Michael Cohen's phone, wasn't there? In October 2016, right? He says, yeah, there was. Huh. And so where did the file come from? On January 25th, 2017, there was a sync, a backup sync. Now, you don't know what that backup entailed, do you? He says, I don't know everything, but it certainly had that file. That file came from a backup, January 25, 2017. So we're getting some timeline on this. So that's where it was stored. It was from a backup. So we don't know really where it was recorded, right? What was the date of the recording? We don't know. Maybe there's some context. Maybe you could say he's talking about this, or he's talking about Charleston. Maybe he had a trip there. Maybe it's the Charleston's after his flight there.
Yeah, kind of.
Find people, all the things. So we're trying to make some context about this. But what is the specific date? Do we know? Where did the file come from? There was a backup. So you know, a backup.
I gotta get gas. Fuck.
But does it show you the creation date? You say, well, that came from that date. And then he wiped everything also in October 2016. Which is before the election. Why did he do that? Why would Michael Cohen, who's just an innocent lawyer, who's just doing Trump's bidding, why would he delete all of his evidence, all of this stuff? Right? And lawyers, by the way, who are not doing corrupt BS, don't do this, right? Trump's other lawyers, like the ones representing him on this case and stuff like that, they're logging their work. They're logging everything in their email. This is how much time I spent on it. This is what I did.
I'd be down for some poker. I'm gonna grab some Chinese food on the way home.
They have a malpractice claim. You got a ton of evidence.
Wife's gonna call.
So where did this come from?
I'd be down. I haven't played poker in a while.
And you don't know what the backup entailed. No, I don't know, but that was in there. So now I want to talk about the September 6th file. We'll get there. But first, I want to be clear. You specifically, Mr. Dowse, you did not collect Michael Cohen's laptop, did you? The laptop. You got the cell phone, but not the laptop. You did not. And that's how you could know what he loaded on, right? If you had the laptop. So there could have been, for example, a large number of the contacts on his cell phone.
I love almond chicken.
Could have come from the sync with the laptop. Is that true? He says, yeah, it could have come from there. Now, you know that the call was cut off, right? He says, yeah, it was. Well, listen to the audio. The call sounds like it comes from abrupt, and it was cut off. He says, but how do you know it was the end of the call? He says, I want to bring up a defense exhibit called G19. Now, put that on the screen. Mr. Dowse, does that refresh your recollection if you're looking at that?
But I think I'm getting combination fried rice and egg rolls.
It says the call, you say, came in at
I'm just typing it out to the wife.
Is that what you said in your report right there? He has it highlighted. Call, you say, it says came in at the end of the audio. Call came in at the end. But there's nothing on the cell phone about it, is there? No, there's not. And this photo of Michael Cohen in the White House.
Yeah, that's what I asked for. Pork egg rolls.
Is this the metadata? So it must be from his report. Is this the metadata? You know, location, time, date, sometimes GPS coordinates, cell phone device.
Yeah, the combination is shrimp, pork, and chicken.
Is that his metadata? Yes.
Mixed together.
But is it true there's no similar metadata for audio files? He says there's not. So I don't know when it was. Bobay says
Drive to Speedway, Perrysburg.
Can't see that. I don't think sometimes you can encode some metadata into audio files. You can. Right? MP3s, out of various audio files. We have it as recorded as an M4A. I don't know what he extracted it as. But depending on the audio file, you can incorporate some metadata in there.
I don't know if I'm going to make it.
My question is, did Michael Cohen scrape the metadata, right? And go in there again, definitely remove it. So copy and paste it.
I didn't realize it was that far. I got to stop at a closer gas station.
There's no similar metadata. So the point is, you can see exactly when this photo was taken, where it was taken, you took the photo, what cell phone, you everything, but not the audio here. This is now Mr. Dowse. He said, well, the phone was off for a long time. No, I did not know that it was turned back on.
Extra egg for Eggsy.
And did you know that Michael Cohen used it to make what he did? Objection! Sustained. Where was that gone? Michael Cohen used it to make another recording, and you don't know what he did with that. Gosh, what kind of recording? Is this when he was doing podcasts with Stormy Daniels? Maybe I might sustain that objection to you. The judge is like, no, man, it's about lunchtime. I need my extra time. I'm not getting into that. I'm not going to joke. I don't know where that was going. But Michael Cohen, he turned the phone on again, and you don't know what he did? Objection. He rewinds. So we just have to take Michael Cohen's word for it. Is that right? He says we do. We have to take Michael Cohen's word for it. About when this was, I guess, created and where it came from and the authenticity, all this, right? Like who created the audio, who cut it off, who split, all of it. Guess what? We just have to take Michael Cohen's word for it. He says we do. Oh, that's a mic drop moment. Okay? That is like master class on how you exit a cross-examination. Like literally mic drop. because Michael Cohen, everybody, this entire trial has been saying what a liar Michael Cohen is, what a piece of work he is. And when Michael Cohen comes out, the jury's going to hear, yeah, this dude's a convicted perjurer. This dude is a bona fide liar. And you just heard from the government's own witness that we have to take Michael Cohen's word for it. This audio is invalid because it comes from Michael Cohen, the most unreliable person in the entire state of New York.
Where'd you say that? There's one right not too far from my house. I'll point it out when I drive by it.
Oh!
It's a small one, though.
No further questions. Thank you. Redirect from the government. Conroy comes out. He says,
yeah, it's not far from the house. It's after I pick up the Chinese food.
You don't hang out with that Michael Cohen, do you? No, I do not. And you actually saw no evidence of tampering, did you? No, I did not see any evidence of tampering. No further questions. Beauvais says, well, you saw the possibility of tampering, didn't you? And
well, yeah, the walls, the walls are shaped like an octagon.
By a phone call, right? Now, nothing on that.
Yes, Chinese food.
Right? So that's why it got cut off, right? So maybe that's what we heard. Phone call comes in, and he picks up the phone, so the phone captured a bit of the audio.
What's up, Dirty?
That he was recording. And it got cut off. The cutoff of the file came off.
Yeah, most of the VA hospitals look pretty good now. They refurbished a ton of them. It doesn't make the treatment any better. It's just cosmetic, like you said.
Seated alone at the defense table. Todd Blanche, Emile Beauvais up at the judge.
I didn't know that.
Susan Nicholas is one.
My wife would know that, though.
They have their sidebar. They return. No further questions. We're done with this witness. Judge Mercant says, okay, next witness. Bragg and the Biden prosecutor Colangelo, they call George Longstreet. And he's a paralegal.
Dude, come on.
Georgia.
Let's do the speed limit, please.
Sorry for the misgender. Government says, all right, Georgia, where do you work? I'm a district attorneys in New York. I'm a paralegal. And have you worked on a case against Donald Trump?
Yeah, Chopper's video. He sent it to me and asked me to send it to you guys.
Year and a half I have. And what have you been doing? Collecting social media info?
Yeah, he told me to send that.
She says, yeah, I follow him everywhere. Okay, as we said, there's some intern or somebody just every day. Oh, all of his notifications all day. Yeah, I follow his tweets, which is like, what? First of all, it's called X now, and he doesn't tweet anymore at all. He tweeted his mugshot, that was it. So it's like, oh gosh. His Instagram and then his True Social. Now, how many social media posts have you saved? It says 1,500. I use Snagit and
what?
I hash it. And did you review @RealDonaldTrump on Twitter? Oh, okay, going back in time, I guess, so that makes sense. Yes, I did. And at POTUS45, right, she go back to get all the old ones. And I was thinking she was getting the new ones for contempt and stuff like that, but she's going all the way down. So it is actually Twitter, that's my mistake. She gives us some details. Yeah, I follow him at POTUS45 when he was actually the president. And what is True Social? She says, it's like Twitter. And did you use the Wayback Machine to review previously published news articles? She says, I did. Now, including this exhibit, I have this Washington Post article, which of course was referencing the Access Hollywood tape. They start to put that on the screen. Todd Blanche, Your Honor, objection. I object to the Access Hollywood. They've already dealt with this. Judge says, all right, jurors, step out for a minute. Jury gets up, they go out, they go, great. Todd Blanche, the defense says, Your Honor, we'd like to discuss a stipulation about an exhibit given.
Gonna roll one up?
Here. Stipulation meaning an agreement. So we have a decision, we've talked to the prosecutor, they say we will accept.
I'm gonna stop and get some gas here.
An agreement from you on admitting evidence. The example that we always like to use is this contract valid or not? Did you sign this or not? Some people might quibble about the formation of the contract. Some people will say, no, the contract, that's a valid, I signed that, right? Here's the thing. And you debate about other things outside the four corners of the document. So you can just stipulate that, yes, yes, I was driving the car.
I'll be right back.
Fight about ID, or yes, I was driving the car, okay. I'm going to step out for a few minutes, says the judge. Needs to probably go get some instructions from someone. Now we're back. Judge says, all right, listen, now I'm satisfied that the foundation has been laid by the witness for authenticity. So the legal assistant from the Bragg office comes back in. I clipped it. I got it from these locations. He says that's enough. So it's fine. Government says, Your Honor, you ruled that we can introduce evidence to offset Trump's claims that witnesses benefit from testifying and to explain previous denials. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, and he says something. So we bring the jury back in, and remember, this paralegal is still on the stand. The government comes back and says, all right, Miss Paralegal, Georgia, we have a stipulation to the judge.
Yeah, he said it went pretty well. I think YouTube really is pushing those.
That the Access Hollywood tape was published by the Washington Post on October 7, 2016. We offer these exhibits. They start offering some. Trump's lawyer objects to one. Objection. Judge says noted. And then they move to admit. 407A comes in. Now, this is a video. So they actually play the video. The jury has shown the video of Trump apologizing for the tape. He says, this is a distraction. He said, I've said some foolish things. Bill Clinton has actually abused women, and Hillary has intimidated his victims. Sorry, he blames it on Hillary. It's 2016, remember. Georgia, when was this video? October 8th, 2016. It's crazy we're even talking about this.
Yeah, they're kind of hard to watch. It's just, I have everything designed to watch them horizontal, too.
Now, when was this? October 8th, 2016. He didn't grab Stormy by the purse. October 8th, 2016. And Georgia, what's this? Oh, this is from True Social. On March 15, 2023, Trump said, I did, and again, 2023, right? So now we're suddenly fast forwarding all the way forward.
I just put 20 in because I'm not gonna.
That's Stormy.
Spend all my money here.
Jailbird Michael Cohen, and he also said, if you go after me, I'm coming after you. So she gets those social media posts admitted. She's the person who clipped them. I did this. Is how I did it. Okay. Government, no further questions. Trump's attorney, Todd Blanche, comes up.
Literal pit stop
says,
there.
Hi, Georgia, thanks for being here today. Did you review the Twitter account of Michael Cohen? Yes. And have you reviewed his TikTok where he's doing his little live streams? She says no. Have you listened to all of his Mea Culpa podcast? She goes, oh, God, absolutely not. Probably didn't say it like that, but she says absolutely not. So you have no independent knowledge of how True Social date stamps its posts or anything? No, I do not. Okay, no further questions.
Cancel. Oh, yeah, for sure. That wasn't too long ago.
And so that is the end of the foundation.
Little 12-gallon tank.
Where a lot of these documents needed to come from. We needed authentication. That has been completed. And so in our next segment, we're going to hear
4 years ago.
But rounding out the morning segment will be
that guy gave me a quarter of a tank.
Who's coming out to explain that we are in the middle of a political lawfare environment. And when you compare and contrast, right, we just heard the statement about Trump saying, well, Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, and how many agreements did they sign, or how many people did they throw off of the river bridge, in order to get him in office? A lot. So Lena's coming out and saying this is a very strange situation because Trump is being criminally prosecuted. But when Hillary had some problems with mislabeling campaign expenditures or whatever they're claiming Trump did, they just settled it with a fine with the FEC. Everybody else can just settle this, but Trump gets prosecuted for stuff that's not even criminal.
Let's talk about something else that nobody's mentioning. Hillary Clinton, with the Russia hoax, paid the FEC a violation for paying her attorneys to hide payments for that. Okay? Now, is she in jail? No. 150%. If it's Trump, they will go after you. If it's anybody else, you pay an $8,000, I believe her fine was $8,000. How's that not a paper crime? If we're going to use this standard, it's got to apply to everybody. And you know what? That's not going to be very pretty for the American people, and that's not going to be pretty for the left-wing Democrats. They come after Trump. They're coming after America. It has nothing to do with him. It has everything to do with us. There is no campaign finance violation. In fact, that's what Michael Cohen pled guilty to. The same man that perjured himself in my attorney general case and admitted to it on the stand. We are clearly in a very much political lawfare environment. And as Americans, both Democrat and Republican, if we don't stop it, we are in trouble as a country.
Right on, Alina Abba, delivering it.
She's hot.
In only the way that Alina can. And I think she's right about this, that there is a double standard. Obviously, we're watching it play out. I think they know there's a double standard. They don't care. It's just raw power at this point. The fact that we're asking
There's a
them
cop
to
up
adhere
ahead.
to old standards, it's like, come on, don't be so silly. That happens.
Actually, the name of this restaurant is the Speed Trap Restaurant because it goes from 60 to 25.
Force you to inject something here, and then we saw that in Georgia that we had hope that maybe there was still a semblance of justice. Then we figured out that no, actually, even there, everybody's all sleeping with each other, commissioners, judges, defendants. It's wild scene.
Smell bacon.
It's just about raw power because they don't want Trump to
The Woodville kind.
whatever it takes. It seems like it's backfiring on him. People are sick of it. We want real justice in America so that we can just put the president 20 to 21. And she had been involved for a long time, has gone to some good schools, and we know a little bit about her background. She joined in the 2016 presidential campaign. She was 26 at the time, which is young, but he put her man press secretary for the potential presidential campaign. She said, he looked at me, he says, I'm thinking about running for president. He says, what do you think about being my press secretary? She was like, yeah, sure, no problem. After Trump's first primary victories, she was asked to stay on, and she stayed as press secretary. So she's been around for a long time, since some might say the beginning, and maybe was Trump's first pick, and that's where she came from. So she's on the stand here today, and that might explain some of the emotions, right? A lot of history, a lot of background there. What did it look like when this occurred today? Here's one artist's rendition of the scene, and you'll notice we got Hope Hicks there, Donald Trump in the bottom left, and Matthew Colangelo, I believe, is the guy who they have drawn for us, which is the Biden prosecutor, who has come down from Obama to Tish to Biden, now to Bragg, and we're following him everywhere he goes, like the bouncing ball that he is. We also have some more imagery here, and this is, you can see the scene, looks like they have the Access Hollywood transcript up there. That tape transcript, or you can do whatever you want in there, whatever that tape, right? So there's Judge Merchan. Another inside artist rendition is here. Hope Hicks close-ups here, and we learned a little bit more about her background. And so now let's get into the trial and the activities, because Hope Hicks is now on the stand, and as we mentioned, inner city press reporting, Matthew Russell Lee, and he has a great many places you can support him. We've linked some of those. Have him now with the government calling in the witness.
No, I'm just picking up Chinese food and taking it home. We went out Wednesday night.
Biden's office says the bureaucracy calls Hope Hicks. Trump's lawyer says, objection, Your Honor, object. He says, come up here. They come up a sidebar.
Hey, R&R.
Talking at the judge's bench.
Why aren't you... Let me fix that.
Hope Hicks is now in the courtroom. She's brought up the bench, sworn in. You probably told you don't I knew it. Let's have some.
Sorry about that, man.
Angelo says,
Where you been, brother? Ain't seen you in a while. What's up, Farland?
can you please introduce yourself to the jury?
I'll be down for some poker tonight, though.
He says, yeah, I am Hope Hicks. I started working in different PR and marketing jobs, originally back at HealthSeek Strategies.
I've seen a bunch of people got on
I met Ivanka Trump, and then I started to help with her personal brand. And then that evolved, and there were various hospitality initiatives. Did you work for the Trump campaign? Yes, I did. Mr. Trump, at that time, it was Mr. Trump, said he was exploring a campaign. What do you do now? Now I have a communications company. And are you here today on the subpoena by the Manhattan DA's office? Yes. And who's paying for your lawyer that's also here today? I am. Have fun. Now, when did you last speak with Trump? She says, summer 2018. Tell me about how you
I don't know.
started with the Trump organization.
9 or 10 Eastern time.
Oh my gosh, it was thriving.
Maybe a little bit later.
Gold, golf courses, buildings. Don Jr., Eric was there. It was wild. I mean, this is like a shut up. Were you called into Mr. Trump's office while he was meeting with someone else? Might be getting into that audio. Yeah, I'm sure he might call in for poll numbers, for example, or positive press about properties. You call in and call people in. Who did you report to? He says, well, I mean, everyone who works there reports to Mr. Trump. So, are you familiar with Keith Schiller? He says, oh yeah, that was Mr. Trump's bodyguard. They were pretty close. How about Ronna Graff, who had already testified here about calendars and contact lists? Remember, Ronna Graff was Trump's kind of personal assistant for a very long time. You know her? Yeah, she was crucial to how everything ran on the 26th floor.
That's what I generally do, R&R. Especially if there's a few people in there. I just say, howdy, y'all. Of course, I'll say something to somebody if they come in after me, but and if I see it. Yeah, that's generally how I cover that. It's easier to do on the desktop, but when I'm on mobile, like, yeah.
Tell us about the campaign then. Yeah, well, Trump said, he just kind of called me and he said, listen, we're going to Iowa.
So who was it that took offense because I didn't say hi to him enough?
And then I became the press secretary.
Directly. I can't remember. He's on,
Press coverage of the campaign.
he used to be in my channel all the time. He's never in here anymore.
What phone did you
Flex Your
use?
Freedoms.
The last 4 digits.
Oh, Mushroom Manny.
222.
I don't ever see him anymore.
And do you know David
You're
Beckham?
offended?
Yes.
Yeah, Mushroom Manny, man. He got pissy about it.
And do you remember being in a meeting with the two of them?
I don't know how many of them actually work on here. That for some reason they've been going off and on.
Well, there was one.
Hey, Dove.
Story
What up, Dove?
about Dr.
Why aren't you on mod? See, they done modded a few people. I don't know what it is.
What was that about? Something about medical malpractice, I think. Something like Mr. Trump's excited about it. He said it might be Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah, he's a mod in Flex's stream as well.
First of all, can I just say how hysterical that is? Okay. There's a National Enquirer. Right? It's just hysterical. Like, zombie brain surgeon ate a baby's.
I didn't think I was going to get done to like 8 or 9 o'clock tonight.
Donald Trump looks at it like, wow, this is like Shakespeare. Pulitzer Prize right here. Outstanding work.
Yeah, he used to be in here all the
You're going
time
to get the Nobel Prize too.
when I first started.
Yeah, outstanding. Go put it on the magazine.
Yeah, he was one of the first.
So then, there was a story about Ted Cruz, which to this day, no court of law has proven that Ted Cruz is not the Zodiac Killer.
He don't like me no
And there was
more.
another one about Lee Harvey
Looking over it.
Year after year, Pulitzer Prize, 3 years back to back. Great job.
I don't. Oh, do I have like? I don't think I have. I don't have many commands on this channel.
Did you become aware of
Most of those commands are
Ms. Hicks?
on my main channel.
Yeah, I got an email from the Washington Post.
Yeah, I know. I have been.
What'd you do? Well, I forwarded the email to Steve Bannon and to Kellyanne Conway.
Yeah, only place I ever see him is in Flex's streams, his live streams.
Now, did
And you know he doesn't have a lot of those. So
Did you say they posted? Did you say deny? Exclamation point. She looks at it. She says,
no, I agree.
Yeah,
Claiborne, I don't get upset about it at all.
The whole transcript was there.
Even if I say it to someone directly, if it's a busy chat, it's like, why should I expect them to actually see it or even,
Trump's taking notes.
you know?
She says Mr. Trump was doing debate prep, and he saw the 5 of us talking, and so he asked us to come in. He's walking around. Hey, come into my office. What did he say?
Yeah, Dirty, I don't know if you heard earlier, my fucking lawnmower caught on fire yesterday.
What did he say about the tape? Well, he said it didn't sound like something that he would say. He's like, I don't remember saying that. Crap, well, I never said it. Were you with Mr. Trump when you saw the video? Yeah, I was. And how did he react? He says, he was upset. I mean, he knew it wasn't good. But it was locker room talk. You know, it was pretty standard stuff for two guys chatting with each other. He was just upset. I was like, oh, great. And they dropped that in 10.
No, it was funny. I mean, it didn't burn up. I got it put out right away. But I remember I had it serviced because there was a leak in one of the fuel lines. So they replaced the battery. Yeah, I got it back yesterday. And I was like, sweet, they fixed it. And it said on the invoice, you know, they replaced the battery.
The statement said Bill Clinton. He said far worse.
And then they said they checked the fuel lines and they were fine. I was like, okay, maybe they just made sure that they were snug enough. Maybe they aren't dry rotted like they appeared to be. Well, I started it up, fired right up. It was running good. After about one time around, it started hesitating big time, like there was no power at all. I had to turn the PTO off a couple times. And then I went around one more time, and it was just hesitating. It was on full throttle. I was like, oh, something ain't right. So I got about halfway around, and it was about to die again. So I stopped it, and turned off the PTO again, and boom, fucking flames shooting out from under it. Yeah, it's got a gas leak still. And it finally ignited.
Did Mr. Ryan say he was sickened by Mr. Trump? She says, well, it sounds like something he'd say because he's such a spineless weakling.
So I turned it off real quick, ran to the house, we got a hose on a reel right there in the front yard for her to water the plants. Fucking
It's a crap what Mr. Ryan has
got it put out.
It's a crap what Paul Ryan did to disinvite Trump from a campaign event. This is just the judge allowing
Thankfully you didn't fart, yeah.
Guilt by association.
Yeah, that's how you find a gas leak. So I called the guys. I left them. Of course, they were already closed when it happened. There's the piggy. Perrysburg Township. So,
and the intention to falsify the business record was about a conspiracy. It's not even.
Well, I know what the cause is. There's one of the fuel lines is dry rotted and it's leaking. It's spraying out when it's running. It's like a tiny spray, but it's literally spraying fuel.
He said it was repugnant and unacceptable, Mitch McConnell.
All right.
Is barely functional. Senator Mitch McConnell. Who was John McCain? He was a senator. Objection. Sustained. Finally, we go down the list. Who else?
Oh, water works fine for it. It's just the gas. Yeah, if it's on the top of the water or something. But yeah, it's.
Have you heard of a sidebar?
I wasn't gonna waste a fire extinguisher on this fucking lawnmower.
What the hell are we talking about? A house call with speed.
Nice little mist. It was out.
Yeah, so he's like, the judge cuts him off, right? He's objecting. Judge, okay, cuts him off. Wait, how far are we going with this? It's not even relevant at all. Cuts him off. Prosecutor comes back. My gosh. Did you reach out to Michael Cohen? To Miss Hope Hicks?
Yeah, I'm not a mechanic
though,
man.
There was about a rumor that there was another tape out there. So I asked him to call a media friend of his. And did Mr. Cohen follow up? I think he made the call.
So, but they came and picked it up again this morning.
And we were at the debate.
I talked to the guy, and he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, you should have just drove it up to the house and thrown it on your homeowner's insurance." I'm like, "Dude, just fix it."
Hey, did you attend the rally in Greensboro, North Carolina, on October 15th?
Yeah, it is. I always use premium gas in my lawnmower, though. The highest octane I can get. I mean, they have racing gas at one of the gas stations around here, but I wasn't going to drive that far. Yeah, the super high, yeah. You have to use, I mean, it's the higher octane, the better on a lawnmower engine.
Who had the permission to post on Trump's ex-Twitter account?
My car doesn't like it.
Real Donald Trump.
My car hates premium gas, which is good. Ooh, somebody got pulled over behind me here. Yep. The guy just pulled somebody over behind us.
Yeah, I heard about it. November 2000. Wall Street Journal. I thought maybe through Rupert Murdoch, we could buy some time or something. So I forwarded it to Jared Kushner. He had a relationship.
Man, something smells good around here. Ooh.
Okay,
Oh, look.
we moved this into
Look dirty. First watch.
Now, when you were doing these things, did you ask Michael Cohen for input?
In Raising Cane's, that's what I smell.
My draft statement on, I guess, the letter to Rupert Murdoch. Or maybe the statement, the edit my draft statement. Maybe the statement they released publicly. And did you speak with Mr. Trump? Yeah,
I don't even think they're open this late.
Mr. Pecker said to
Yeah, I think they close at like 3.
contract for services. So now we're still talking about Google.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. That old Karen was going off on that poor hostess.
Now, he did not want to use the statement that we had drafted. He wanted to write his own, Trump said. A denial, and that we didn't know anything about this.
Oh, no, I love it, man.
So the story breaks.
That $1 million bacon.
Story that breaks about it. I think we had the other one.
5 strips of bacon for
So
for $8.
we're trying to fill in the gaps as best we can, but I think what's happening is there's a
Right.
where
Oh, Cranberry
the
is?
story ultimately broke.
They look like a lot of yuppie type stores.
He did not want to use that statement. He says he wanted to say we didn't know anything about this thing. Now, when you learn that
The $1 million bacon has got like a syrup baked onto it, and it's black pepper, and oh man, it's so good.
Deny everything. Okay, I thought the story was not about
The day before, I had Hawaiian French toast.
At a break, fast forward through it. Inner city press, Matthew Russell.
I don't like Hawaiian pizza, but I guarantee you Hawaiian French toast is delicious. Oh, someone's leaving? Later, someone. Enjoy your dinner.
Trump is speaking with his attorney, Emil Beauvais. Judge says, bring the witness out. Ms. Hicks, our
What's Overland Expo?
jury comes in.
Is that like Jeeps?
Matthew Lanslow continues. Ms. Hicks,
We have a Jeep Fest here. This is where they make them.
between Mr. Trump and Mr. Cohen about this. So after Ohio, we flew by Hershey, Pennsylvania, and we were getting into a car, and I heard Mr. Trump, but there's nothing memorable about the call. I don't really remember. Where did you start the day on that?
Yeah, they make them right there in Toledo.
And the story about Karen McDougal, I quoted it.
The Wranglers, anyway.
It says we have no knowledge of any of this. Untrue is what she wrote. She was no knowledge of this untrue. Now, did Mr. Trump tell you to say that? Well, that was the consensus. By who? Mr. Trump? Well, the main point was that there was no romantic affair. That was the point. So I'm going to show you up your grand jury testimony. It kind of feels like your story's changing here. So I'm going to show you what you said before when we had you come in and talk to the grand jury. She says, well, look, okay, fine, you can show me that, but as I sit here right now, I don't have a strong memory of him telling me we have no knowledge. Okay, these were very hectic conversations, so I don't remember. So, okay, thanks for that.
I love making
You
French
said,
toast.
when you were testifying in the grand jury, you said, it says, Mr. Davidson also represented that Stephanie,
Oh, yeah?
also represented Stephanie Clifford, right? That's the lawyer, Keith Davidson. He represented.
Yeah, they have like a parade of Jeeps and everything down in.
Now, did you text
downtown
Mr.
Toledo.
Cohen about any of this?
I think it's like in June or July. Not sure. I'll have to look it up.
Michael was asking me, any news? He wrote, I don't see it getting much play. She laughs. No irony here, she says. Yeah, got a lot of play. Michael Cohen was wrong about that too. Okay, then what happened? Michael said it's getting little to no traction. Now, Michael Cohen wrote that he had a statement from Stormy, right? Cohen says, I had a statement from Stormy. What did you take that to mean? She said, I didn't know. I don't know. I just wanted to blow.
Where's that at again?
I asked for David Pecker's number. Mr. Trump wanted to speak to Pecker.
R&R?
And Mr.
Where's that
Trump
at?
was concerned about how his wife would see it. Oh, Oh, that's weird. So there's another explanation. It's not just about a campaign. It might also be about your personal reputation and your marriage and your business interest as a billionaire with multiple brands and multiple businesses, which is why you don't want even allegations to come out. It's not all about an election. There are many other justifications for why he would do this, but they're calling it election interference. That's the way it is. He was concerned about how his wife would see it, obviously. Honey, no, okay, this Playboy, I never had anything to do with her. He asked me to make sure the newspapers weren't delivered to their residence next morning. Oh, gosh. I didn't get the newspaper. Can you imagine that's your life? Like, oh, gosh. I'm not going to talk to my wife about this one. She already saw it on Twitter. Like, you son of a... When did you start working in the White House, Ms. Hicks? January 20th, 2017. And I left between 18 and 2020. And where did you work when you were there? I sat just outside the Oval Office. There were 2 desks. There's a vestibule with a mini fridge.
I'm
and a
lost.
coffee machine. It was nice.
What is
And
airport
who's at
breakfast?
the second desk next to you? She says, Madeline Westerhout. We also knew he was going to come up. Now, Ms. Hicks, were you aware that Karen McDougal sued AMI to be released from her non-disclosure agreement? Since I've recently been refreshed, I now know. And these text messages between you and
I use vanilla in my French toast.
Trump's also sat there. These text messages between you and Madeline, did your lawyer produce them under subpoena? So they're going.
Yeah, where's the convention?
Text messages. Okay, these people are so sick.
I think you're behind a little bit there, R&R.
For lunch today, we go for a walk. What's up? Did you see the show last night? Yeah, you
That's
got
what it
all
sounds
this.
like.
Now, when the Stormy Daniels story resurfaced, what happened next? Trump told me that Michael had paid
Later, Dove.
a false allegation with his own money. Okay, so Trump told me, Michael, after the what happened next? It's all done now. Trump told me Cohen
dirty.
paid a false allegation with his own money. So Cohen's. Now, is that consistent with who knew of Michael? No, he was not charitable, right? So why would Michael Cohen pay with his money? Like Cohen's not.
Are you going dirty?
In his pocket. And part of my thesis on this case is that
I'd go just to record.
Caught in a hard way, right? This guy's a scammer, scheming around, always trying to move stuff around, solve problems for everybody. I think a good theory of
Free
the
shit,
from
yeah.
his perspective is that he needed money and he needed it now, so he needed to conduct like a big hit, a big take, a big scam. You've seen Ocean's 11. What's the big one? Right? They're gonna go take Trump run at 30K. He's gonna take a big peek at that and settle with this. It's like $500,000 ultimately, all said and done once he peeked everything out. So why did he do it? Well, he was not charitable. So they're trying to make it say that Cohen was doing this for Trump and like Trump leveraged, to get along on this. So no, he was not charitable. And this is going to be their mic drop. They're going to say, oh, Pick says Trump told me that Michael paid a false allegation with his own money, and then Trump reimbursed him. And I guess that reimbursement was for legal expenses that Cohen dealt with.
Really?
I still don't see how there's a crime even with that. I mean, okay, that's fine. It's Cohen's his lawyer. Cohen settled something for him, and he reimbursed him. It's a legal expense. What's the crime? All right. So he says he was not charitable, and so the prosecutor thinks this is like amazing. No further questions. He walks away. I'm not impressed. Cross-examination. Emile Beauvais is up. Trump's defense attorney. And it's about to get a little emotional. Emile Beauvais says, good afternoon, Ms. Hicks. The Trump organization created the communications position for you specifically, didn't they?
Except it live.
She starts crying.
That works too.
He did.
Sweet.
Created this for me. A lot has been provided through that amazing position, she starts to break down. Judge says, Ms. Hicks, do you need a break? Seems she does. Jurors, please step out. Trump is talking to Emile Beauvais and Todd Blanche. Hicks is back. She apologizes. Sorry about that. Now, you called it a family business, Miss Hicks. Is that right? She says yes. It is. And you said Mr. Trump's relationship with Lana Graff was respectful, wasn't it? And she was, again, Trump's another right-hand person who handled a lot of stuff before the presidency. She left, I think, before the presidency. It was really respectful, wasn't it? Yeah, I really respected Lana, says Hicks. And then for the campaign in 2015, 2016, now Mr. Cohen wasn't a part of the campaign, right? No, but he would try to insert himself here and there. And Mr. Cohen was supposed to focus on Trump's business credentials. Is that right? As a surrogate for Trump's business credentials? Yes. And isn't Michael Cohen, it's true, he went rogue at times, didn't he? He did. Yeah, he did. He liked to call himself a fixer. Only because he first broke it, she laughs. Cohen breaks it, then he fixes it, then he claims he's a fixer. And he thought he was going to be the Attorney General of the United States. Which actually might be a great role for him, since they break everything he knows, including American justice. I don't know if he can do a worse job. So Trump's attorney, Emile Beauvais, continues. Now, President Trump's calls with David Pecker, they didn't stick out, right? Because he often spoke with the press, like this was kind of a normal thing. He says, right, yeah, he does a good job of maintaining relationship with the media, even if they're negative on him. Ms. Hicks, you would agree that campaigns kind of promote themselves at times? Yeah. And they actually promote themselves, like that's part of their job, is to promote themselves. Yeah. That might include probably buying ads, yeah. Talking to magazine owners, yeah. Doing interviews, stopping negative stories. Now, campaigns do negative social media too, right? She says, well, I've only been on one campaign and it was a great one. She's like, right to the Super Bowl, first season. Woo!
I can't keep up with this chat.
Got a Super Bowl ring. That's pretty good, man. And it was great. Did you travel with a laptop? Yeah. Did you send many messages when you were doing this work? Oh, yeah. And there were consistent and constant inquiries about negative stories, weren't there? Yes, there were.
Hey, I'm a good cook.
To discuss coverage of these stories. It wasn't strange at all, was it? No, it wasn't. And there was the leak of President Trump's tax Ingo. Now, you also met with that, tax Ingo. Yeah. And October 8th, he was worried, right? Yeah. Yes, how it'd be seen at home. Oh, maybe the leak of Trump's tax records. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, he was worried about how they'd be seen at home. And Ms. Hicks, you've also met Mrs. Trump, right? Yes. It says President Trump, Melania, yeah, he really respects her. She doesn't weigh in much, but when she does, Trump really listens. Now, Ms. Hicks, in 2017, you didn't have anything to do with the business records of the Trump organization that was 200 miles away from you, did you? The business records? Did you have
I've done a couple.
To do with those?
Well, I've done my jerky.
No, I didn't. Great.
On the main channel, I think.
That's another good
what else have I done?
Emile Beauvais is pretty solid. No, I didn't. Oh, good. Because this whole crime is about 30.
I did some smoking. Smoked a brisket one time, I think.
Anything to do with them? No further questions. Thank you for your irrelevant.
All right, I'll be right back. I'll run in and grab this chinky chow.
Under subpoena, under Bragg's Angelo Biden prosecutors order. So he drops the mic right there. No further questions. Government says, yeah, I have nothing. No, of course you don't. Judge says, please approach. Anything else do we need to handle today? Anything else? Okay, fine. We're going to call it a day. He says, okay, go back. They go back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, jurors, we are going to call it a week. And remember, Have a great weekend. But do not read the news. Jurors and other people leave, but not inner city press, baby. Matthew Russell Lee doesn't leave. Judge says, all right, we can continue with the Sandoval hearing. And the Sandoval hearing is the parade of horribles. It is the litany of prior bad acts that they can try to impeach Trump with if he does decide to testify. Todd Blanche is your honor. We can't add your contempt findings to the Sandoval case. It's like in this case, like you can't add what you've done, holding him in contempt and sanctioning him, fining him $9,000. You can't hold that against him. Government says, you sure as hell can. The Court of Appeals has said the contempt findings can be heard, Your Honor. The judge actually gives this to Trump, says, no, they're not going to be heard here, okay? You have enough in your little stupid filing. So this is adjourned, and of course, all of this brought to us by Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press reporting. And I forgot to make sure that this is at the top of our timeline. So if you ever want to go follow him and you're watching us on X, boom, you have that now at the top of your timeline so that you can follow him accordingly. Now, Trump came out and he had some statements after the day wrapped up in trial. And here is what he said after day 11 on a Friday.
So I'm not allowed to comment on any of that. As you know, I'm under a gag order, which is very unprecedented. But I will say this, that the government, DOJ, et cetera, and in particular lately this office of DA, which is letting crime, violent crime run rampant all over our city. What they've done to people in my company, they've been after us for years. You take a look at what's happened for years. The Democrats, the radical left, they've been after us for years, and they've destroyed people's lives. They've gone out and hired lawyers. They've been with lawyers for years. They've sucked dry. And it's a shame. It's a shame what they've done to this country. And it's a shame what they've done to a lot of great people that have been absolutely ruined and destroyed, not only here, but all over. These are vicious, radical left lunatics. The DA here is Soros back. They shouldn't be wasting time on this. Look what they do to so many people. They're all lawyered up. That's all they do, lawyer up. In the meantime, you can't do anything in the country. The country's going to hell. They have no time. They have no anything left because they're always under siege. It's a terrible, terrible thing happening in our country. And hopefully, November 5th, the most important day in the history of our country, in my opinion, that's called Election Day. Hopefully it's going to change because these people are destroying our country, whether at the border, whether the horrible reports that came out today of jobs numbers, we're going to hear, whether inflation, which is destroying us, allowing the economy, Afghanistan, allowing Russia to attack Ukraine, would have never happened. And you take
It's pretty
October
bad. There's a
7th,
big
and
list there.
Israel,
There's a
that
lot
would
going
never
on.
happen. All of these things happening,
There's a lot.
and all they do is they go after people. They destroy people, and it's a shame. So I just want to wish everybody a very good weekend. I was very interested in what took place today, but I just have to say, we have a country to build. We have to rebuild it. Our country has gone to hell. We're a nation in decline. And we cannot let that happen to the USA. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. We'll see you back next week.
All right. Man, it smells good.
On Monday, shout out to Betty Johnson for clipping those.
That's really good.
But that was day 11. Hope Hicks was on the stand, and you can see that was kind of short. And I thought that Bove did a very nice job. Do you have anything to say about these businesses?
I don't think there's many kinds of jerky I haven't tried.
Okay, great. Not even relevant. Why are we here? Look at the jurors. Sorry for wasting
What I get?
time.
Oh shit.
We'll
This
see
is
who
right
comes
behind
up
me.
next. When we
All
are
right.
back
I
here
got,
on Thank you for joining us as we do. We're just getting started on this trial. We'll be covering it in depth, just like this. So thanks for sticking around and following along. We
Combination fried rice,
wherever
pork,
you're watching this. Thanks for liking
Pork egg rolls.
Inviting someone you know or love, sharing it with a friend or family.
Some crab rangoons.
Trial here. It's not publicized. Broadcast live.
She gets usually the lo mein.
Thanks for inviting them on over. We have a great members-only community where we do live streams every morning, 6 days a week, including on Saturday.
Combination fried rice comes with pork, chicken, and shrimp.
We'd love to have you come join us. We'll talk about a bunch of other stuff that we can't get to here. So really support the show and have some fun doing it. Watching the watchers.local.
Yeah, you gotta get rangoons.
And back here on the next one. All right, my friends. Well, that is it for us on the day. It's a beautiful Friday.
She yells at me if I start on him because she always takes possession of them. She's like, "Those my rangoons. Get your hands off of them." As I burn my mouth.
Also, the bombshell so-called audio, I think, is a disaster. It's got no source information, no date information. It all came from Michael Cohen. He deleted everything else. He had it spliced or something happened with it. And no one knows anything else about it other than what Michael Cohen says happened. So it's just legit. So that is what happened today, my friends. Now, let's hear from you. See what you have to say about this, of course. Thank you very much for your generous donos and your amazing comments. Here's the first one from yesterday.
Did I show you that prime rib I had for
like dancing, Rob. Here is what
anniversary dinner? Let me send it to you on Telegram.
Let's see what this looks like.
If I still have it.
Put it down like it. No. It's little. That's not.
Yeah, I got rid of
What's
it.
up, Crash? But I.
Oh, no, I
appreciate the
didn't.
effort.
There it
It's
is.
nice effort. Thanks for making it. And I appreciate the effort. But yeah. Anyways, Crash is here. It's a little too jiggly. It's a little too flamboyant. It's not me. Crash says, "Let a Mother's Day message in the comments." Here it is. It says, "Rob, I included a nice tip in the chat." It says, "Rob, I will probably be out of pocket all week working, so I wanted to offer my Mother's Day thanks today." Indeed. It says, "Some months
There it
ago,
is.
I
I'll send it to you.
mentioned that dads discipline 2x4 stuff like with wood, but moms."
Where's that
2x4
Octagon house?
stuff, but moms raise their boys into solid, responsible men.
Let me
Alex
see. Oh, yeah, it's coming up here on the
just
right.
that way. You say, "Happy Mother's Day, Mom. It's your day. Bask and enjoy."
Oh, no, it's just square.
Plus
It's not
7
Octagon.
grandkids, 3 boys, 4 girls. Here's a pic of Mom a decade ago.
I thought it was Octagon.
She's a
It's just
July
weird shaped.
4th
It's got the
girl, just like
overhangs.
Mrs. Jake, Hug your mom from us. Man, this is great. So we have a couple photos.
I was wrong.
Let me see. This is great. Okay, yeah, we have a couple photos. Is this Mom? Is this Mama skydiving away? Amazing. That's Mama skydiving away. That sounds fun. And here's a nice fam. Shout out to our moms. And we love our moms in the house. And so, beautiful comment, Crash. We love our moms. We love our moms. We love our moms. It's a great comment. Happy Mother's Day. Of course, we'll be seeing a lot more of that.
She gets so mad at me because I never, for some reason, I can never remember her cell phone number, the wifey.
DC Metro is here.
And she leaves her number there. So I'm like, listen, this is what she probably ordered.
As always, thank you, DC. Thanks for being a member, my friend. Thanks for the nice comment. Thanks for supporting us. Really appreciate you being here. Have a great weekend. We got this one from Hunter. Membo for 4 months. Good to see you, Hunter. 4 months as a membo. Very fun stuff. Yeah, it's really fun. It's a little insane, isn't it? Rivka, the Jade Gamer, says, "I tagged you on the X post with some post by Inner City Press that I'm having trouble parsing. Could you help me figure it out?" We'll see. We'll see. We're going to go check X. We'll see if I see anything. Did we get to it today? We sent that at 3:09 at the start of the show. Did we hit it? Did we parse through every tweet today? Jennifer says, "Can someone please tell me why we only allow courtroom sketches instead of cameras in our federal courts?" I'm asking for a friend. You know, it's a good question. I think it's just an old, antiquated rule. They had, I've looked into it like several times, they had like a beta test at one point where they were considering it, and I think they say it's for the decorum, for the sanctity of the court. They don't want it to become performative. They don't want it, like, you know, we don't want it to turn into Fannie Willis land. What a disaster that was. Like, the federal courts are not quite like that yet, but maybe they are, honestly. What would it look like in Chutkin's courtroom, to be serious? We should see it all, no doubt. Stephen M. says,
Oh, yeah, I'll be done.
Judge articles to
Wow, White House Inn is packed tonight.
You could challenge the order.
Look at all these cars on the side of the road. They're all at this one restaurant. That's where I got that prime rib. Right.
Yeah, so I see what you're saying, Stephen. I think
right here.
baiting him.
It's called the White House
Okay,
Inn.
so like I want to post, but now I can't even get permission to post. So like I'm clearly gagged, and the gag clearly talks about political speech, and it's so overbroad that I can't even get permission from the judge to post these things, right? So this gag is, it's even more harsh. Trump is trying to find other ways to ameliorate the damages of the gag, but the judge is even denying that. I think it makes his case a lot more sympathetic. Hey, what's up, Johnny boy? A membo bringing in 5 new membos. D. Gillis, Zancy Pelosi, Deanna M, Anonymous, and Sharia 7 in the house. Amanda L. What's up, Amanda? Good to see you.
They have their different cuts or like positions. Like the presidential cut is just too big. It's just too much. The VP is, I usually get the Speaker of the House cut. That's like it's 18 ounces, so. On the rarer side of medium rare. And a puddle of the juice. And then that other plate is garlic mash with bacon and cheddar on it. They give you so many potatoes, it's literally a separate plate. Yes. Yes, bloody beard. Jeez, these people are going slow.
How long?
It's 25, do at least that.
Like if they go to prison, you just shred their.
All right, now it's 35. Let's go. Let's go.
So you're supposed to keep your records. It's crazy. Hey, gang. Says, Rob, do you think inner city press is just noting what objections are being raised? Because I know you can't scream objection without a reason. Yeah, maybe. So I think the judge was specific about this. He does not want any speaking objections. So he does want objection and then like one word. Like maybe so, you know, objection, relevance, objection, speculation, objection, hearsay. I don't know if they're saying that or not. But I do know that they were not giving big talking reasons, and that's why they go up to the sidebar when they need to really talk about it. And of course, he can't hear that, so he's not reporting on that. What's up? Great question, gang. Zachary T says, if Trump is such a wild cannon out of court, you would expect them to want him to make press statements. Odd that they work so hard to keep him quiet. Yeah, it's curious. It's the truth. That's the problem, right? Truth is very dangerous, very damaging, which is why they have to silence that. If Trump was a maniac, just spouting off maniac things, then they would let him out. Like Michael Cohen is a good example. It's like we're fine. Let Michael Cohen keep running his mouth, do more TikTok live streams, jump all over X. No one cares. Go wild, because it's damaging to him. If Trump's statements are so damaging to him, if he's such a loose cannon, a wild man, go run his. It's not. It's the truth, and it's causing a lot of people to shine the spotlight on it. They're going, wait a minute. This judge literally voted for or donated to Joe Biden, and his daughter is working for Joe Biden? That's strange. Maybe this is not fair and impartial. We got, what's up, Sheila B, Sheila FB. A new membo over on the YouTubes. Very great to see you, Sheila. What's up, Brad B says they are punishing Trump to punish us for forgetting our place and for trying to elect someone who we actually and acutely want. That's why we have open borders. Punishment. It's an interesting concept, Brad. Kind of a humiliation ritual type of a thing. I think there's probably some truth to that. It, you know, humiliate your opponents, dissuade anybody from playing the game. I think that they're dissuading a lot of people from speaking out about this stuff, from, you know, acting as lawyers in these cases. They've done this for years now, and I think it has consequences. And that's the strategy, literally. Salty says, Trump said on the audio, "Give it to me, I'll handle it," was the moment that his secretary brought his Coke, the drink, not Hunter's favorite candy. I'm surprised Cohen didn't use that. Give it to me, I'll handle it. The drink, you gonna crack it open? Good to see you, Salty, over on the Rumbles.
Oh, wow, they plowed right through the
I'm still
fucking
scratching my
sticks.
head.
God damn
What
it.
is he charged with? What is the actual crime? That's all. I'm still scratching my head. Well, technically, it's in the indictment, it's false business records. But I don't know what Hope Hicks had to do with the business records at all. They're trying to create a conspiracy charge because it's it's the object crime of the false business records. They're saying Trump falsified the business records in order to conceal another crime. The conspiracy is all of that, is what they're saying. And
All right, y'all.
It's guilt by association.
Thanks for hanging out.
The McDougal stuff.
Oh, I will, Dirty.
The business record at issue. The business
You guys be
record at
good.
issue
I
is about
will probably play some poker tonight. No guarantees.
We've got
It's still-
Cowboy
it's still
Rob
date
says
night.
crime, not crime.
Let me just
Boy
spend
says
time with her
crime.
on the couch.
Cowboy Rob. I was picking
Love you
up,
guys.
putting down.